And now it's time for What's Hot. We talk about stories that have everyone talking.
And we are joined today by local blogger Rochelle Fritsch, and Jeff Wagner is back with us. A tragic accident in Arizona raises new questions in the whole gun debate. An instructor was trying to teach a 9-year-old girl how to use an automatic weapon. The kickback was too much for her to handle, so she ended up losing control and killing the instructor. Should young people be handling a fully automatic weapon?
Well, see, and the details of this are even weirder. This really wasn't a firearms instruction thing. This is a place about 20 miles outside of Las Vegas, and it's a tourist place. It's called Bullets and Burgers, where for a fee, you can go and you can shoot automatic weapons. So, I mean, this is like a firearm safety course. Now, for reasons that pass understanding, the parents decided, hey, we're out in Las Vegas, let's take our 9-year-old and have her shoot a fully automatic Uzi. I have shot machine guns in my life, and as an adult, they're tough. They're tough to hold on to. This is just crazy all along. I don't know what the parents were thinking. The business that allows 9 and 10-year-old children to have access to these guns, that's crazy. This whole thing was an accident waiting to happen.
It really was, and I mean, it's tragic all the way around, and my heart really does go out to both of those families. With that said, I wonder if anyone needs to be handling an automatic weapon. You know, truly, I've shot a weapon as well, and it's a lot to handle as an adult. Aren't those only supposed to be used in war settings and things of that nature? I don't understand why we're having people doing this for fun.
Well, right, it is wrong all around.
I just don't, I cannot fathom in my mind at what point
you thought it was okay.
Right, that you would put an Uzi in your 9-year-old hands and be like,
Right,
we're in Vegas, let's do it.
I mean, I don't mean to be flip about this, but there's all sorts of things you can do in Las Vegas if you don't want to gamble, or at least so I'm told. I mean, you could go see a show. You can go, take a helicopter to the Grand Canyon. You can go to the Mob Museum. But, you go 20 miles out of town to this giant shooting range, and you have your child. My nephew Alex is 7. This girl was 9. I mean, in all honesty, I'm not sure Alex, who's a great kid, can handle a garden hose, much less you give him an Uzi.
A lot of kids are raised around guns, and they're taught how to shoot, but they start small, and they're never handling an automatic weapon.
It's for hunting. That makes sense to me. That's why do we need these weapons?
But the other thing that is just so wrong in all of this is that the parents were there watching and videotaping and thought that this was a cool idea. They're from New Jersey. That's why they were at this place. The place apparently says that they let people younger than 9 years old hold these kinds of weapons, and the gun just basically flew out of her hand. And now what? Now she's got to live with that.
Right.
And it's heartbreaking.
It's tragic.
All right, coming up next, we are revealing the viewer's choice topic of the day.
And Jesse Ricca will be back with us for a look at your forecast.
Choice topic of the day.
And again, we're joined by Rochelle Fritsch and Jeff Wagner from 620 WTMJ. Today's viewer's choice topic. The violence in Ferguson, Missouri started a discussion of whether local police departments should have access to military equipment. There were a lot of armed vehicles and high-tech weapons used to control the crowds of protesters. Should officers be allowed to use military gear is the question today.
Well, because this started, it seems the attention started, as you said, because of Ferguson, but this has been going on since 1997. The Defense Department has been giving their surplus resources to the police departments across the country. So it's not like this is new. I think really what the bigger question is, it talks about the police department's relationship with the community. That's separate from having access to these resources. I think they're very necessary, especially as you think about things that happen, tragedies like mass shootings. How can they respond to those? Gangs and drug busts where they really need to be using these sorts of weapons.
Well, you're exactly right, Rochelle. I mean, here's the deal. You're right. This goes back to the early 1990s. The vast majority of the equipment that gets distributed is like non-military. It's excess flashlights and computers and generators and things like that. About 5% is weapons, about 1% is the tactical vehicles. They used this during the Boston Marathon bombing. Remember, because you had the terrorists that were out there and you had the police that were using some of these armored vehicles that they got from the military to go down the streets. Nobody had an issue with it there. I think the program is fine. Now, there's an issue, I guess, about deployment. when is it appropriate to bring out some of this stuff? And maybe you can criticize what they did in Ferguson as an overreaction. But the program itself is, I think, good. And what's the alternative? To take all this equipment and then just scrap it and destroy it? That doesn't make any sense to me from a taxpayer perspective.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of times, too, police departments are being outgunned by gang members, criminals. So in a lot of communities, it makes sense. We got to go to our lightning round now. So can you sit back or do you have to sit up? It's a debate brewing on airlines, or airplanes rather. A device called the knee defender blocks a seat on a plane from reclining. You don't want the guy in front of you coming back, you use the knee defender. So a fight over this device actually made the pilot divert to another airport. Should you be able to block someone from reclining their seat? So
Jeff can't wait to talk. Jeff is
well,
like,
no, because I'm outvoted on this.
In, and the woman can't recline. She gets mad. She hits him with a glass of water.
threw the water in his face, actually.
Okay, I know I'm going to be outvoted on this. Now, the rules of the airplane said you're not supposed to use a knee defender. Okay, the guy shouldn't have done that. But and maybe you're going to disagree with me. Matter of fact, I know two of you are. I think it is rude to recline back into somebody else's space. And airplanes are cramped enough. I will tell you, I have my own knee defender, not the device, but I'm a relatively big guy. My knees are there. You're not coming back into my area.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, come
Well,
on.
I think it's rude to recline.
Well, it is rude to recline, but you don't need a knee defender, and you certainly don't need your knees. That's why God gave us our mouths. You can lean forward and say, I'm sorry,
Well,
can
no,
you
sure,
sit up?
but
Oh,
when
like they're going to listen to you?
Tired. I want to
Here's
lean
what Jeff
back.
Wagner needs to do. He needs to pay the extra money to sit in the exit row,
Well,
so
there
the
is
one
that.
in front of you can't recline back.
But
Or
here's,
sit at the back of the plane near the toilet, which doesn't recline back.
I feel like we're turning into a nation of toddlers. When I was growing up, there were 4 of us, truly, and we had like one handheld game. That's how old
Back
I
in the
am, right?
sandbox.
Okay.
And so we go back and forth. I want it. No, I want it. No, I want it. My mom would have to say, you know what? Nobody gets it because none of you are playing nice.
Look, the
So
seats are
take it
made to
away.
recline. You're allowed to do it.
Okay, I can just
Done.
picture, Courtney, you are every traveler's nightmare. You get on the plane with your small child, and you're going to recline into somebody's
go
lap
there?
with the kid that's going
Yes,
to be
he went
screaming.
there.
Really?
He totally went
Number
there.
one. there.
Number one, my children have never screamed on an airplane.
Because she
Note
gives them
that.
Benadryl, not just laying.
And number 2, I can recline. I'm tall. I need to recline.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to have to pay extra to sit someplace else. It is clear because Jeff Wagner doesn't want us to recline. Rochelle
Yep.
thinks that
I'm just
reclining
saying,
is rude,
just
and we
ask-
both want to sit back.
Can't we compromise? Can we say don't recline as much, Courtney?
As
a little
much.
bit.
I don't think there's a halfway
Halfway
in
is
that
kinda,
button. I think
a
you're ready
little
to
bit.
back her up.
I'm trying to be good here.
I told you this would be an interesting discussion.
It will be,
my
and that's
gosh.
why it continues online.
Jeff Wagner, take the train.
Take the train, that's right. But you know, you can also continue this discussion on our Facebook page or on our website at tmj4.com/hot.